have. How will all of these overnight cues impact our own markets? Our research team joins in with how the trade setup looks like, the stocks that are likely to be in the news, and of course the setup on the F&O side of things as well. Even in yesterday's session, where we were erring on the side of caution, we did open well. We made a new high. We crossed Friday's high of 24,365, but we could not sustain above those levels. That 24,450 mark again proving to be a resistance, a barrier, and eventually we closed around that 24,350 mark as well. It was the tensions around the border with India and Pakistan is what has kept sentiments in check. But what ensured that the Nifty managed to keep its head above water was Reliance Industries, and it is the outperformance that continued from a Tuesday's trading session as well. Now 2% higher there, a lakh and a half, 1.5 lakh crore added to its market cap in 2 sessions. So almost 8% higher in 2 sessions is Reliance Industries. And the cautious sentiments reflected on the Nifty Bank as well. It hit that mark of 56,000, tested those levels, but then cooled off almost 600 points from the highs. So that 55,500 to 56,000 continues to remain a barrier for the Nifty Bank. Of course, with tomorrow being a holiday, the weekly expiry for the Nifty contracts has moved to today. So that will be in focus as well. The traders would look to remain light considering the fact that tomorrow is a holiday, and especially because of the ongoing developments with regards to the tariffs, the geopolitics and all of that. However, the stock specific activity may continue, and speaking of that, watch out for defense names because they've been on a tear over the last 2 trading sessions. Take a look at this, almost 15 to 30% higher in the last 2 sessions. Masgaon Dock is now at a record high, and Paras Defense is going to be reporting its results today. Of course, there's a lot of global action lined up as well. You watch out for the GDP data from the US later this evening. The PCE inflation comes in later today. Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Meta, Qualcomm, all of them report results over the next 2 days. So we'll have to digest all of that on Friday morning as well. So cautious cues for our own markets. The GIFT Nifty 2 indicating a 60-point downtick as of now. But moving over to Sudarshan now, who will list out the stocks that you need to keep an eye out for today. Sudarshan, good morning.
Good morning, Harma. So we'll start with Bajaj Finance. It was a minor miss on NI and operating profit front. NI was up 22% year-on-year and up 4.5% sequentially, and operating profit was up 18% YOY, but it has slipped 3% on a sequential basis. For FY26, company believes that AUM growth is likely to be in the range of 24 to 25%. Also, net interest margin is expected to be stable. Coming to BPCL, it was strong Q4 earnings led by refining segment. Even marketing margin has benefited from higher inventory gains. EBITDA was up 2.4% on a sequential basis. Margin has improved to 7%. Remember, our estimate was around 4 to 5%, and reported GRM has surged to $9.20 per barrel against our expectation of $5.60. Coming to India Mart, it was a subdued quarter. Revenue was up just 0.2% on a sequential basis. Even one major thing that we focus in India Mart is the paying subscriber growth, which remains muted. It was just 1% on a sequential basis. Shoppers Stop, it was a muted revenue and EBITDA growth. Even margin was flat at 16%. For Praj Industry, it was a miss across the board. Profit has declined year-on-year for the 3rd consecutive quarter. UTI AMC quarterly average asset under management has slipped 4% on a sequential basis. Even SIP AUM was down 2%. Star Health Insurance operating loss. Company has reported operating loss of rupees 87 crore versus profit of 90 crore. Even combined ratio has increased by more than 600 basis points YOY. For CEAT, revenue was up 14%, EBITDA has slipped 1%, and margin was down almost 200 basis points, but it was higher than estimate. For IndusInd Bank, after Deputy CEO Arun Khurana had resigned, now the company has announced that its CEO Sumant Katpalia has resigned effective April 29, and board has sought RBI's approval to constitute a committee of executives. For Alembic Pharma, it has received established inspection report from US FDA for 1 unit, and lastly, Prestige states it has received regulatory nod for Indrapuram project, and gross development value is seen more than rupees 9,000 crore.
A long list of stocks. We'll keep an eye out on all of them. Sudarshan, thanks a lot for that. And lastly, Mangalam joins in with cues from the F&O space. Mangalam, good morning. Still not able to cross higher levels, but what's the F&O data indicating?
Well, the F&O data indicating, for starters, it is weekly options expiry today. You wonder why on a Wednesday, because remember, tomorrow is May 1st and it is a trading holiday. So as a result of which, we will watch out for the key indices. But if you look at the key indices yesterday itself, ignore the range that they traded at, look at the close, then that tells you that there's nothing. There was a fair amount of consolidation that took place in yesterday's yesterday's trading session. But the real story was in the high and the low of the Nifty itself. So you look at the high yesterday, 24,458, and the low, 24,291. And that exactly is the broad range that the street is working with as well, because the GIFT Nifty is indicating a negative start, but it's at the lower end of the range. What's positive, however, are the internals. The biggest internal is the kind of flows that we're seeing from the institutions, the cash market. Both the DIs and the FIIs bought in yesterday's trading session. In fact, the FIIs have now bought for 10 trading sessions in a row. We don't remember the last time we saw this. And the FIIs and DIIs put together, bought together for third session in a row. So there is a fair amount of money that is entering the Indian market itself. Institutional flows this month itself, over the last two trading sessions, the FI purchase has made their net flows for this month, the month of April, positive to around 2,700 crores, and the DIIs have put in around 27,000 crores itself. And that's not just the cash market. Even in index futures, the last three trading sessions, the FIs have been pumping in money. The one trading session where they sold, they were caught on the wrong side. So yesterday they bought about 911 crores, added 6,800 long contracts, and now their long exposure stands at 44%. Today, the weekly options expiry, there's 24,350 call which is active, and the 24,300 put, telling you that the expiry range is seen between 24,250 and 24,425. Were the markets to break out, there is a positioning which is taking place at 24,500 call as well. So there is a fair amount of punt buying. So we'll keep an eye out on that. And also watch out for Trent. The stock did well yesterday post numbers, but a lot of the details that came in after numbers would lend more short covering to that stock today.
Oh yes, absolutely. What a move we saw on Trent after the numbers came in just before closing. Mangalam, thanks a lot for that. We'll take a short